Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a trip to Universal Studios in Singapore, and we're going to be taking a look around the absolutely enormous supply vault that they've got here. Now, if you've been following this channel, we have had some already uploaded from Universal Studios in Hollywood and also Universal Studios in Florida. Now, this one by far is the biggest. It is packed full of all different merchandise, and of course there's lots of different toys and other little bits and pieces to have a look at, including some of the park exclusives. So let me know in that comment section what you do spot and what you think is exclusive to this park. You've got another 11 minutes left or so of the video, and then obviously it is done. It's just a super short, sweet tour of this really big store. And I think this store is bigger than the one that they've got in Florida, but it is much, much bigger than the one that they've got in Hollywood. So each one is on a different scale, but the land that this one in is by far the largest, because you have got the big 4D ride, obviously, as they do at most of the Universal Studios. Then you have got a big meet and greet section as well, and then that is usually it. That is what they've got in Florida. But because this is in its own land on the park map, you're actually in a sci-fi section. So they have sort of merged it in with a huge roller coaster as well, and a couple of the other little bits and pieces, and the theming just works. So keep your eyes peeled for the future uploads from this playlist. This, I do believe, is going to be the first one from Singapore Universal Studios. And of course, you've got a lot of them to compare it to, because you've got all of them to compare it to from Universal Hollywood and, of course, Universal Florida as well. So I'm starting to get around all of the different ones. And I'm doing my best on the other channel, which is the Lego channel, to do all the Legoland parks as well. But you've got all of the different theme park content on this channel, and, of course, all the different accommodations as well. So there's plenty of playlists starting to appear, but you can see you've got anything and everything from just basic merch. You've got the little pens, you've got all the nice little bits and pieces. Then you've got these things, which are very, very expensive. You've got some cool ones here. You can see some of these are just for display purposes only. And then you've got the big Bumblebee helmet. It was quite interesting to see some of these, but I wasn't too sure if they had just been sent them for show, and I didn't know if they got sold within this country, because obviously depending on where you are around the world, they have got different distribution rights as such. So I was intrigued to see if these were just older, and that's why they're not selling them anymore, and that's why it says for the display purposes and not for sale. Because when you start to walk around the corner, all of a sudden you then have them available on a peg, and obviously the price. So if you recognize any of these, are they older? Are they newer? Are they exclusive to different bits and pieces? Or can you just not buy them from this store? As you come down, I do believe you've got some pencil cases and you've got some bags. It's Air Nest is the one at Florida. So I'm pretty sure this one will be the same. Now, I didn't do the ride here, because I've done it at Florida. And I'm not a massive fan of the ride, to be honest, but it is good fun just walking around the store and seeing all of the different T-shirts and all the other little bits and pieces like that, because obviously you've got all the old school sort of Transformers in disguise T-shirts as well, which obviously do look quite cool. And then you've got the nice jackets and tops and all the other little bits and pieces. And yes, it does have the Nest on there as well, so you can see that in the red. And then it seems to be that they have a lot of stock, and they do just seem to be changing the colours every single time. This will be the first time I've seen some of these colours, because when I saw them in Florida a year or two ago, they wouldn't have had them there. So again, it's worth going to these different parks around the world, because the layout's completely different, the sizing's different, the stock's different, and just different bits and pieces like that. But I was amazed by the size of the roller coaster that they had here, and it was very, very good fun. It was basically the Hulk, but with 2 tracks. And it was 2 different ways you could do it. One of them you almost like stood up, the other one you kind of sat down. You will see it in the tour video, but it is a very, very smooth ride. It kind of feels like the Hulk, because it's that sort of launch coaster. Similar theming, but instead of it being the Hulk, it's obviously themed to something completely different, because it's not within the sort of superhero section. As we're coming around, you can see you've got all of these bits and pieces on display, but again, it just says for display purposes only. So again, are they not available in this country? Have they just got it there because it is just generic bits and pieces that you can have on display? That's what I started to think when I came into the store and got to this point, but I am almost 100% sure that when we get to the far back bit, that is where everything is available to buy. So if you know what kind of product that is, or what company that is, maybe they don't sell it over here in Singapore, but again, you can see you've got all of these different bits and pieces up here. So you've got the green, red, yellow, and blue for the different costs. What that's to do with, I'm not 100% sure, unless it's just to do with the actual badges and depending on the character, you just pay more money, even though it's the same fabric badge. Some of these bits and pieces I'd never seen before, because obviously it's different trends around the world of what people enjoy. And you can see you've just got some of the classic, I think that might be one of the G1 cartoons just on that t-shirt. So you've got some really nice, bright and vibrant tops to pick from as well. But again, we're still going. The store's huge. So those people are just coming off the ride. So you can see how, or you can imagine just how big the ride actually is, because you can see that cool little vault thing just there. That's an amazing thing, hence why it's called a supply vault. And then obviously in that it'd be pretty much probably spare stock and stock room. And you've got these really nice bit of theming that's dotted all around. This is very similar to what will be in all the queue lines as well. So this is a pretty cool thing just to see. And then obviously they try and recruit you to get on the ride. And now we're in to, I do believe, the Hasbro products. So they do seem to be selling the Hasbro bits and pieces here, but I don't know what the other bits and pieces were. So again, if you're in on the toy knowledge, then please do let me know. I have absolutely no idea 90% of the time what I'm actually talking about anyway, but it is always nice to see the differences between everything. And obviously you've got the Legacy line just here. I know a little bit about the Legacy line with regards to how it's all been released and distributed, especially over in the UK. But over in Singapore, absolutely no idea whatsoever. Now, you've got these, which I think are just standard releases. Then we do have some store exclusives. So keep your eyes peeled for those, because I now can't remember where they are. And I know some of you are much, much better at these than I am. I am pretty sure on the box artwork, it also says what the exclusive one is, because it does have the Universal banner on it as well. But you have got different bits. So these I haven't seen before. These do look very, very impressive, and they will look very, very good on the shelf. And they do look pretty pricey, to be fair. But again, they've got loads of them, so maybe they're not that expensive. The other thing you've got to take into consideration is, of course, your local currency to the currency of the country that you're going in. So if, for example, Japan at the moment, because the yen isn't very good, that's the exclusive, because I recognize that straight away. That one and the one underneath, I've saved you. They are the two exclusives for Bumblebee and Prime. So what makes them exclusive? I think it's because it's the same artwork as it is on the ride. As you can see, as we're coming around now, you've got all of the other little bits and pieces in here. There's lots of things to be having a look at right now. Obviously, you've got sport for choice with regards to multi-packs, individual bits and pieces. And again, this is the stuff that I have seen before within the UK. Some of them are different box artwork. I don't recognise all the way around the outside with the yellow, but I think that is from the studio series for Bumblebee, which I'm pretty sure if I actually was to pause the video, that would be exactly what it's from. And then as we come through, you can see you've got lots of other little bits and pieces on display as well. And then you've got these really cool things. These look very, very big in box. How you would actually get these back on the plane, I don't know. But then at the same time, some of these might be exclusive. I've never seen sort of just the half torso dioramas before. These do look absolutely fantastic. I think that says Mighty Jack on the back, so I might give that a Google and see that for myself, because they might make a very, very nice diorama backdrop display, especially for like videos and things like that. So they do look very, very smart. But it did look like they just had the three, so I don't know what website or if that is available from the website, but you can also see you've got the G.I. Joe crossover, so that is the Transformers G.I. Joe, and then you've also got the Jurassic Park crossover as well. And then as we come through, I'm pretty sure there is potentially the Stranger Things one as well with the pizza box. I think that is in this store, unless I've got mixed up with a completely different country. So as we get past the 86 Transformers stuff, which is obviously from the movie, because it says that in the top left-hand corner, and then you've got some other little bits and pieces that we're having a look at. I'm pretty sure when the video file changes and we spin all the way around, we will have some other crossovers available to buy. So if you were trying to get those, I can't remember if they are exclusive or not. But again, loads and loads and loads to pick from. So if you're a massive Transformers fan and you're missing any of these in your collection, they seem to have a lot of them at all of the Universal Studios stores, and they've got a lot of the same ones as well. So I'm sure coming up now. So here we go. So we've got more G.I. Joe crossover stuff. So you can see that they were at one point like a limited run. And then you've got just the normal, they're the exclusives as well. These obviously all say limited edition, so maybe everything on here is limited edition. So that makes it a little bit easier. So we know there's Prime, we know there's Bumblebee. So beside that, I am sure we've got more G.I. Joe crossovers. It's the one underneath this. Or it is the pizza. There it is, the pizza, but I wasn't going mental. So that is the pizza delivery, and I'm sure that is from the Stranger Things. I think that's what that's supposed to be from. So it does look like a pretty cool crossover on that one, and there's loads of those available as well. Pretty sure that's sold out quite quickly in the UK. So again, if you're local to a Universal Studios, go and see if your local one in your country has it, because like I said, I've only been to the 3. We don't in the UK, as it stands, have a Universal Studios, but there might be one opening up sooner rather than later. And then of course that makes it nice and easy for me, because I don't have to jump on a plane for 13 hours to come over and film all of the content. But obviously I love doing all that kind of thing anyway. So guys, we are very, very quickly starting to run out of time. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. You've got lots of different playlists now available for a couple of different theme parks around the world, lots of different Universal bits and pieces. There's some Disney stuff that will be either up or on its way up within the playlists. And then if you're here for all the different hotels and how to get around and all that kind of thing, they are going to be playlists available for that as well. So it makes your holiday planning as easy as it possibly can be. So you can see that that is the entrance and the exit to the shop, but that is it, and I am done. So again, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.